Welcome back to the Lost Library and the continuing story of the life and suffering of Sir Brante. This is Chapter 2, Part 3. The Shadow of the Past. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brante family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. You are 13 now. Another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the three estates with the right to interpret the lots and guide the other two estates accordingly. Thomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed, and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze, and his skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic. Real magic. Just like in the books about the Magra Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There is a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers, and the books of Isatias on the desks turn into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps toward the door. You and Thomas glance at each other. Thomas says he's going to burn the whole school down. Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Thomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Thomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Thomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon 3 men in black cloaks enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver. The Inquisition. You and Thomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. One of the inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day you were forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. Thomas Garreau. Relations are going up. Good. +3. The Nobleman's Lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. On one of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. Soon, Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double. But he is more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the empire. It is full of so many wonders. The imperial palace, the enormous temple of the twins, the military academy, the imperial college. You've read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Char Millenadius's palace. She could be lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Char Millenadius, the rebellious duke. The ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword in its sheath. Get ready, Jack. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being. So why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante, but Father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Char Millenadius's palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. "Look at the lass, sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble. But don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach you your place." One of the louts spits at Gloria as she lies there. "Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts." They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one-armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. "Stay by my side. Don't let them flank me," says Stefan. Stefan's hand shakes, but he looks ready for battle. He is outnumbered. For a moment, you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. Charge the attackers. You grab the heaviest rock you can find and get ready to fight. Follow your brother's orders. Call the guards. No, I think in this case here, I'm going to follow my older brother's orders. I think this is the best move. That or charge the attackers. I don't want to leave Stefan by himself. Leave the fighting Stefan and run for help. No, follow your brother's orders. Stefan's firm voice fills you with confidence. You follow your noble brother's orders. It takes a moment to grab a stick, and then you are at Stefan's back, angrily swinging at the louts as they try to bring him down. One of the louts lunges at your brother with a stone, but you hit him with a stick, and he falls down right at Stefan's feet. His sword flashes. The blade sinks deep into the young man's stomach. He wheezes. Blood starts pouring onto the ground. The thugs freeze. Stefan pulls the sword out, his face an inscrutable mask, and returns to his fighting stance. You are stunned to see Stefan take another man's life so easily and effortlessly, like picking his own teeth. The thugs look like they are about to flee. There is a rage and confusion on their faces. They never expected the young nobleman to use that sword. Stefan just scoffs at them. "Low-born scum! That's all you are! This is the only language you understand. Good job, brother. Gloria, get up. We're going home." He turns to glance at your sister, giving the enraged thugs just enough time to rush you. You get separated from Stefan. Your back is against the wall now. They hit you hard, in the stomach, then the face, then the side of the head. Then your mind slips away. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself lying in your bed. Stefan is in the armchair next to you reading a book. He is alive, with left arm in a sling and black eye, but still alive. Your head is spinning, and you feel nauseous. You try your best to sit up. Stefan looks up from the book. Don't try to get up. You lost a lot of blood. I suppose that was a few thugs too many for a single warrior, even with good backup. I'm impressed. We fought like an army. The noble orders, the commoner obeys, all according to our lots. We defended the family's honor together. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage, not to fight everything you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of his family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak. A noble mustn't suffer like people of the low-born lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. And there are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough, but it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? There is approval in your brother's eyes, for the first time in a long while. It was a pleasure to fight side by side, brother. Hey, relations with Stefan are going up. Excellent. Okay. Nobility's rising, and willpower's dropped a little bit, though. But it's still prepared for anything, which is good. Okay. Trial of the assailants. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of low-born thugs assaulted Stefan Brante. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazot until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it. And so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen, and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too, as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I will become part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he take me into the house at all? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There's a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There is an exhausted look about him. Son, you will be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born men insulted Stefan first and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs. Her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she is a part of the family? But if you do what Father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you? What is right, or what is just? Oh my goodness, what a decision to make here. Okay, well, I am 13, 14 years old. And you know, I'm 13, 14 years old. I've got a very harsh, difficult relationship with my grandfather. My father, it's pretty good, actually. My sister, it's very good, too. I mean, to support Father, I'm lying in court. Now, how do I do that? I can't do this. I can't do this. I mean, it's not right. What's going to happen, though, if I... What is going to happen here? It gets complicated, okay? It gets complicated. Now, am I being set up? No, I can't see Father setting me up. But maybe Grandfather's trying to set me up. You know, Grandfather is the one that's behind this. It's not Father. It's not my father. It's my grandfather. And he could be the one trying to set me up. So you know what? I'm sorry. I'm a teenager. I have a mind of my own. And I'm going to tell the truth. You agree with Father now, but you will tell the truth later. You nod in agreement. You will follow the family's plan for the trial to the letter. A faint smile appears on Father's fatigued face. I feel sorry for Father. I think he's being played. Thank you, son. This is an important case for our family. and from me as well. I appreciate your support. You watch Father leave your room and consider your options. When should you mention Gloria during your testimony? There is no way you will pretend she was not there. That would not be fair in the slightest. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are seated next to Father and Stefan. You are to testify to the court one after another. Your brother's testimony follows, Father's plan to the letter. The young commoners insulted you as you were both walking by the ruins. Then they assaulted you. Stefan defended you. You are next to speak. You tell the court the truth about that night. How the thugs humiliated Gloria. How Stefan and you came to help her. And how Stefan defended his half-sister. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners on trial cry out, "It's the truth! Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot." The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. Grandfather's face turns red, yet he remains silent. All emotion disappears from Father's face. Your brother turns to look at you, disappointed. Sir Elborn rises to deliver the sentence. There is bitter regret in his voice as he speaks. With this new evidence in mind, the court of Anazat finds you not guilty of assaulting Stefan Brante, a nobleman. However, you are found guilty of disgraceful conduct and injury to a noble. All 4 defendants are sentenced to 20 lashes each. The carriage is silent as your family drives home. Father asks you to go to the sitting room. You need to talk. Alone. The tone of his voice does not bode well for you. The sitting room doors slam shut behind him. You have absolutely no idea what you've done. Why did you have to be so foolish and stubborn? Why? Explain it to me. Father is furious. You try to explain yourself. You only wanted them to treat your sister fairly. Father's face turns red, just like grandfather's did. Treated fairly, he says. His sister, he says. Get out of my sight this instant. Both of you. You're in for a world of punishment, young man. You and your sister. You are nothing but a disappointment to me. Be gone! Next, Father gives his orders. You and Gloria are flogged together, brutally enough to ensure you learn your lesson. Once this ordeal ends, your sister thanks you through tears. At least you tried to stand up for her. Your back will not hurt less for that, but at least you feel better now. When Gloria comes back home the day after, there is a fresh bruise on her cheek. Her dress is covered in dust, and her hair is disheveled. You ask her about it, but she does her best to pretend nothing is wrong. When you ask about the bruise, she says she just fell. You meet those 4 commoners on the street a few days later. They thank you mockingly and tease you mercilessly. Sir Jack Brante, they call you sarcastically. You walk away as fast as you can. They laugh behind your back. Whatever happens now, Stefan will not protect you or Gloria anymore. Relations with my father have gone down significantly. Ooh, are we regretting that? Did we do the right thing there? I think so. Let's see. Oh yeah, but look at the relations with my sister. Well, I do have to protect her. There's no doubt about that. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, Gregor. Yeah, no kidding. This guy's just, well, grandfather or not. Ingenuity. Okay. Ingenuity. A little bit. What's going to happen here? I'm 14 years old. Yeah, see, yeah, teenager. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, making that decision. Yeah, going against the orders. Agony. Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. Grandfather does not go with him. For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs rest. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that grandfather will not recover. The eldest Brante is mostly bedridden now. On some days he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert, your father's name. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. The servants hide. Mother locks herself in her chambers. You and Nathan run outside or hide quietly in your rooms. If grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds the lots any longer. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman these days. Children have no respect. His son betrayed him and let him down. And oh, how the Brante family has lost its honor. Again and again you hear grandfather knocking at mother's door, screaming that it is all her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children his decline. Father refuses her outright. It is late at night. The hot, dry winds are coming. The house is empty save for you, Nathan, Gloria, mother, and grandfather in his bed. Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the Empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see light in the hallway. Grandfather? What could he want in the middle of the night? You peek into the hallway once he is passed. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads for the door to Mother's chambers. He opens the door and walks in. You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You sneak closer to hear his words. You foul commoner. I have to cleanse my sins. I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you have done to Robert and his family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. I should have stopped Robert from tainting this house by your presence. Why? Oh, why didn't I do it? Please, Sir Brante, I beg of you. Silence! You will do my bidding. Fire will cleanse all low-born filth from this place. Fire, and flame will free Robert from this disgrace. This is for my son's sake, for my son's sake, for my sake. I need to eradicate this low-born filth. The twins, they are calling for me now. I can feel it. I can feel it. I beg of you, please, have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over Mother's bed, a lit oil lamp in his hand. Mother is sprawled out on the bed, crying. Please, just let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Brante. Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you. Stay out of this, Jack. Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now, and a sinner I am. A sinner! The twins, they forgive no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I don't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away! Mother is crying. Grandfather is still looming over the bed, driven to madness. His hand shakes as it clutches the oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes this has to be done. You are suddenly torn. What if he is right? What if that is the only way for his soul to find a salvation? There is no going back now. You have but a moment to act. Run away to rescue Nathan and Gloria. Oh my goodness. Stop Grandfather. Let it all happen as Grandfather wishes. No. You run to Mother's side and snatch the lamp out of Grandfather's hand before he can start fire. Run away to rescue Nathan and Gloria. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't let him do this. I can't let him do this. Oh. What do I do? What do I do? Run away to rescue Nathan and Gloria. I can't leave Mom. There's no way I can leave her. Stop Grandfather. You run to Mother's side and snatch the lamp out of Grandfather's hand before he can start a fire. You look at Grandfather defiantly and step towards him. He stares you down with rage and throws the oil lamp at the floor. You manage to catch it, but just barely. Several drops of hot oil hit the rug, not nearly enough to start a fire. The lamp's glass is blistering hot. It burns your hands, but you still hold on to it safely. You low-born scum! You ruined everything! You're every bit like your mother! You! Enraged, he takes a swing, and you squeeze your eyes shut. But he does not hit you. Instead, there is a deep exhalation. You peek at him with one eye, just in time to see him collapse, all his strength fading away. His chest is heaving, his face a grimace of contempt. Another heavy exhalation. The contempt is gone. There is only fear now. Grandfather's eyes open wide, almost in surprise. He exhales. His eyes grow dim. Mother is there, whispering a prayer. She is shaking violently. You put the oil lamp gently on the bedside table and call for the servants. They carry the body away. It does not disappear. True death has found him. He will never return. You spend the rest of the night with Mother in the sitting room. She will not let go of your hand. For many, many nights afterward, she keeps seeing Grandfather's shadow out of the corner of her eye. Father returns from Eterna the morning after. He is unusually composed as he arranges for the funeral. The house becomes quiet, not the looming, heavy sort of quiet of the past few months, but the calm relief you all feel now that the crazed old man is no more. At last, Gregor Brante, the family's patriarch, has departed for the hereafter. Ho, 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 ho. Relations, hostility, of course, but true death. Your grandfather passed away and departed to face the twins' judgment. And so he should. Nobility is rising. Look at that. Look at that. We're now noble. Ingenuity has risen, and willpower is still up there, prepared for anything. Okay. Oh, Grandfather's demise, the year 1132. Your grandfather, Sir Gregor Brante, left this world forever to meet the twin gods. Last respects. The night of grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Brante, is dead and will never return. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of the family. The Brante patriarch exerting his influence on all the lives below him. And all of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he still cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much as resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all day in prayer at the temple. And yet the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there's one more thing that must be done. The final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. The day comes to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone, save for Stefan, Nathan, and you. Mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles or those who may become nobles may join this ritual. There's a solemn silence as you walk to the crypt. Father is the one who breaks this silence when you finally reach the door of the family crypt. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Brante to remain here in body forever. The first ever noble in our family. It is our duty now, hold to the sacrament of flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Brante dynasty. Stefan perks up at Father's words. His hands still clutch grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Nathan, on the other hand, looks even more frightened now. Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward, deep in the gloom of the crypt. Atop a pedestal, you see the sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Father takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respects. Gregor Brante, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the empire. He lived his life as if he had been born a noble, and he never strayed from the path he had chosen. He sought to make the Brante family ennobled by the sword so that our children's children might be of noble birth. The twins know I abided by my father's words all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets of a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at Father and turns to glare at Nathan, at you. After all, the two of you were born of Father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you remember his disastrous passing. He did not die the true death he deserved. Yet we all must know that he fought for the future he believed in, to the very end, and he would be proud to see his family bid him farewell with this sacrament of the nobility. Stefan still glares at Father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger, thin and sharp. He takes off his gloves. "Watch me carefully, my sons. Make a small cut on the palm of your hand and let your blood flow into this duct on the wall of the crypt. It will join your grandfather's blood here and flow forever. Then ancestor and progeny will begin or become as one. We shall enter our family's blood tide and receive grandfather's final blessing. For his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you. You are part of him, and he is part of you." With a quick motion, Father slices his hand and holds the bleeding cut above a small opening in the wall. Then he hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as Father did. You receive the dagger next. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in this ritual, you will enter the Brante blood tide. You, a low-born child, a child who is still a commoner. Are you ready to claim your legacy as a descendant of the nobleman Gregor Brante? The eyes of your father and brothers are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow your example. You can be certain of this. Give the dagger back. You refuse to participate in the ritual. After all, you do not bear the nobleman's lot. You still recall the first sacrament and how you defied the lash. You are Gregor Brante's grandson, and so you deserve to enter his blood tide. Aha. Ask for grandfather's blessing. Before you dare enter his blood tide, you ask grandfather's spirit for... Yeah, no. I can't. I've got to give the dagger back. It doesn't surprise me. You refuse to participate in the ritual. After all, you do not bear the nobleman's lot. You return the dagger to Father and say you cannot participate in the ritual. You are a commoner, and your back bears the mark of the lash. Grandfather would never have let you honor his name as a nobleman. Nathan nods in agreement. You do not deserve this honor. Father furrows his brow and shakes his head. Stefan, help me close the lid of the sarcophagus. And remember to ask for grandfather for his blessing. And as for you two, it seems you weren't ready to walk the nobleman's path after all. You're right, son. Your grandfather would never have allowed it. The lid of the sarcophagus falls into place with a heavy, resonant thud. Then, suddenly, you all freeze as each of you hears your late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud as it rings in the depths of the crypt, and yet he speaks to each of you separately. Foul blood, weakling! Foul blood, weakling! I knew you never had it in you to rise above your meager birth, Jack. You have not a drop of nobility in you, and your pathetic little brother is the same. You are a taint upon my flesh and blood. Be gone from my crypt. Your legs carry out of the crypt of their own accord. Out, out, out of that stuffy crypt. You can finally breathe again. You hear slow footsteps behind you. You turn around and meet Nathan's gaze. You did the right thing. If it weren't for you, I'd have done what Father told us. Grandfather said I should stay away from his legacy. Said it'll do me no good if I try to follow in his footsteps. How's that for words of guidance, hey? Nathan sighs as he embraces you. Father and Stefan leave the crypt much later and walk to the carriage without a word. You and Nathan humbly follow behind them. Yep, relations are going down with my father. But they're going up with Nathan. Going up with Nathan and Gloria and my mother. Oh, the willpower is still up there. Prepared for anything. Yep. Definitely prepared for anything. Forbidden love. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Nobility greater than 4. Continue. I am 14 years old. Yeah, it's about time. 14 years old, I think you're ready for. Let's see. Another day of school is behind you. You're now wandering your district, taking your time before going home. It is getting dark. Soon you are walking past the splendid mansion of Count El Velasco, one of Magra's richest landlords. You hear a familiar voice from the other side of the iron fence. It is Stefan's voice. It is followed by the sound of a young lady laughing. You peek through the fence and into the mansion's garden. And indeed, there you see your elder brother, dressed like he is going to meet the Emperor himself. He is currently busy helping a pretty young lady out of the window. She locks him in an emotional embrace. You recognize her, Maria El Velasco, Count El Velasco's daughter. And as the whole city knows, she is already betrothed to another young nobleman from a far more illustrious family. Oh, Maria, I thought I would help you come down to earth from your heavenly abode, but your very touch brings me to the heavens. He picks the Count's daughter up and holds her in the air. She laughs, almost imperceptibly, and kisses him on the cheek. But then Stefan takes her by the chin and turns her to face him. Their lips join in a kiss. A flurry of emotion washes over you as you watch it happen. Stefan is putting the reputation of his entire family at risk. Acting so frivolously with the Count's daughter may turn the Count's influence against all the Brantes. And yet Stefan always speaks so highly of noble bearing and composure and family honor. Stefan's face is glowing with joy. Your older brother, he is happy, truly happy. You have never seen Stefan like this, as his arms hold the Count's daughter in a tender embrace, so gently, as though he fears to hurt her. And Maria reciprocates his feelings. Must you really rob them of their secret joy? If you ever speak to him about this, no one else must hear it. You wait by the gate patiently until Stefan decides to return from his escapades. He is startled when he finally notices you standing by the gate. Remind him what a nobleman's honor means. If Stefan keeps acting like this, he will bring disgrace upon the entire family. Aid Stefan in his cause. You promise you will keep brother's secret. Well, you promise you will keep brother's secret. If Stefan keeps acting like this, he will bring disgrace upon the entire family. Aid Stefan in his cause. Yeah. Let's see. Remind him what a nobleman's honor means. We are going to... You promise you will keep brother's secret. Yeah. I promise I will keep brother's secret. It's good. This is a good one. This is a good one to go with, I think. What are you doing here at this late hour, Jack? Is there something you wish to tell me? You confess to Stefan that you saw him today in the El Velasco garden with the Count's daughter. This affair puts both families' honor at risk. Yet you say you are happy for him. You can see how much he cares for her. No matter what, it is worth the risk. Stefan can trust you with this secret. You assure him. The two of you will keep it together. Stefan reacts to you with anger at first, but your supportive words calm him down. You've got all the makings of a professional spy. But you're right. The risk is too great. Your aid will not go amiss. You are no nobleman yet, but I hope your word is worth my trust. Well, you will find out. From that day on, you help Stefan and Maria avoid attention on many occasions. You even have to distract El Velasco's manservants and lead them away on a wild goose chase through the district. In the end, you are never caught, and you earn your brother yet another night with his beloved. They are both aware that the days of their hidden love are numbered. But how will your escapades affect the family's reputation? You and your brother agree. Whatever happens, happens. Young love is worth this risk. Spirituality rises, okay, and so does ingenuity. Yes, it should. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. All right, well, I think I'm surprised we're still in chapter 2, but that's okay. That's okay. Enjoying this? I hope you are too. We're going to end it right here with Stefan's disgrace. But we will be back soon.